Hi there, in this video I'm going to show you how to knit this hat. I made it with beginners in mind, so it's fairly simple. It does have a little bit of decreasing here, but you don't have to change onto 4 pointed needles. So that was the main thing that I was trying to avoid, because I haven't shown you how to do that. If you don't want to do the stripes, you're more comfortable just doing plain, great, you can do it in plain. I accessorized mine a little bit. You don't need to, because all we did was knit and the hat automatically rolls up. But for those who know how to crochet and you want to accessorize it, all I did was I did a single crochet on the knit, each one of the knitted stitches I did a single crochet, and then I just took the little flower here. There's nothing to this. I chained 10, and then I came back into the very first chain that I made with a single crochet. Then I chained another 10, came back in that same single crochet, and I did that 6 times, and just gives you this little ornamental flower. Nothing to it, but you don't have to do it, because without it, it looks great as well. So yeah, basically I did this for beginners, you know, but either way, yeah, so let's get started. Before we start this project, I want to show you what you're going to need. Now, you need your circular needles, because we're going to be knitting in the round. I will show you how to knit on 4 needles, but at this stage we are going to be doing this in the round. So you can get whichever ones you are wanting to. These ones, I mean, you can get them fairly cheaply anywhere. When it comes to this one, you can actually I think this is the one. You unscrew this. No, this isn't the one. There is another one that you can unscrew. You buy them where it comes with this needle, and then you literally unscrew this and put different size needles on. This is the I thought that was it, but it's not. I just got this from Hobby Lobby, and you can see these are the things that you screw on. They look like this, and you just undo these, and this obviously isn't, or is it the one? Maybe, no, this one's too tight. And then they unscrew, and then you would just re-screw this one into it, and you'd use your different needles. That's one style that you can use. This is a different one. It just comes like this. The thing that you've got to be aware of is how long this cord is. But you want the smallest one, but not too small where you can't get it all on either. So you'll have to have a look around and just see which ones you've got. This is what I use. Let me just put this back. This is what I use. It's a little more expensive, but because I do so much knitting and I do so many crafts, I decided to buy it. It's called the Denise Interchangeable Knitting Needles. Now these ones, if you are going to be knitting or you have the finances, I would go ahead and buy these. These are really wonderful. You open your box and you've got all the different sizes. Okay, one of mine is out here. I'm busy using it. And all the different needles. They tell you the size and the millimeters over here. And you just take your needle out. There's obviously 2 of each. And you attach your what is this thing called? Whatever this is called. What you're going to do your work on. You attach it to this, and that's all that there is to it. So it's very easy. So get yourself some needles that you can knit in the round with, and you see this one is a lot smaller than that other one. So yeah, get yourself that, and I'm using the Caron Simply Soft, and I'm using bunches of colors. It will be the colors I'm using. You can use whichever ones you want, but I will put it on the written pattern so that you can see. And I'm using a size 8 needle. Now I'm trying to keep this hat very simple as it can be. There is going to be some decreasing, but don't worry about that. I'll show you how to do it. It's not hard, because I didn't want to have it all the way straight. This is all straight. What we're doing is we're just going to go all the way. You don't do anything. You just do stocking stitch. In the round you just knit. That's all that you do until we get to a certain point, and then I'm going to decrease, and I will show you how. And the size 8 needle is a 5 millimeter. So it's either the 8 needle or 5 millimeter needle. And get yourself one of these as well. Get yourself a little stitch marker. You can buy them anywhere. If you don't have one, you can use a piece of yarn, which you would just simply make one of these. Just make one which is a round circle, and you can keep putting it on and off, so it's not the end of the world if you don't have one. You could use a safety pin and put that on here, just hook it on here as well, same thing. And yeah, so let me get started. So what we're going to do to start off this hat is you're going to take, I always pull my yarn out the middle of my yarn ball here, and you're going to, this is the beginning of the yarn, so I'm just taking a whole bunch. There is a certain amount, apparently I think it's like 1/2 inch to a stitch, but I never count. I just take a whole bunch. I just do this, so I've got about so much. The thing is, you rather want more than less, because if you end up with less, you're going to have to redo your casting on, so always make sure that I have more. So if you want to measure yours, you can, but anyway, I think this should be sufficient for me. Then what you're going to do is you're going to just do a slip stitch over, a slip knot over here, just like that. You cross it over like that. Let me bring you in just a little bit. Okay, and then you do this and that and bring it through. One more time. This, that, bring it through and pull. Okay, now you've got two parts to your wool, okay? You got this one part, and you got this one part that comes out of your yarn. So you're going to take, so you wrap your yarn around your little finger, so my hand is like this, and then I'm going to bring it over these fingers, okay, around, over these fingers, and this one is going to come over, so I look like this, and I'm just going to hold my yarn here. Okay, so just so I can hold it. So you've got to hold it somewhere. So either there or in your little finger there. This is what you're ending up with. And you're going to be casting on like this. So let me show you one more time. Around your finger. So like you're digging into something. Around your finger. Bring it over all your fingers. Over your thumb. And then this on the other. Remember, you've got two yarns here. Eh? You're sitting with two yarns. So the first one, wrap it around, bring it over, then your second one is what comes over your thumb. And I'm just holding it there. Okay, all I did was put this piece over there now. Alright, so, and then you're like this, and then you just bring it up. Okay, then you're going to come under this one, and you're going to get there, bring it through, and that's your first stitch. So you are looking like this. That's around there. You got this over here. You got to play with it until you're comfortable with the way you're holding your yarn. And you're going to go in here. Okay, so you're coming into this one. And turn your hand a bit, and you want this thread here. Okay, because you got like a V here. So this one, go across to that one, and this one is coming through here. And then you bring it through. And don't go too tight. I'm already going too tight because it's very hard to get them off this needle. So you're going to cast on 96 stitches. So that's all that you're going to do here. You just cast on 96, and once you've got them on, you're going to join them together here, and I'll show you how to do that now. So cast on 96 of these. So I've got my stitches on, and what you're going to have to do is put it down in front of you, and whoops, sorry, wrong way. Put it down in front of you and make sure that all of your stitches are facing the right way. All of these need to be facing in. You can stretch this out. This is why if you have too short circle here, your stitches are going to be very tight. If it's too long, you're not going to be able to come and join over here. But anyway, make sure all of them are facing this way. Okay, so all of mine are facing the right way. Then what you're going to do is remember, this was my other piece of yarn. Don't start knitting with this piece because you're going to have a problem. You're going to have to cut this off now. If this is how much excess you have, listen, rather have excess than having to undo this and start again. So I rather use a bit more. Now, this is the yarn that I'm going to be knitting with on this side. So I'm wanting this piece to be on my right. Okay, so this piece is going to be on my right. Let's just toss that down. That's the one I'm not using. So the piece that you are using from your yarn, whoops, over here, is to your right, and all your stitches are facing the right way now. You can stretch your stitches out if you need to. And now what we're going to do is I'm going to put my stitch marker over here so I know where I am. Right over there. So I know when I come around, this is where I need to be. Anyway, so you're going to now start knitting. Let me come in a tad for you. Okay, so you're going to go into your very first stitch. So you're just going to hold them like this. This is to the right now. When you cast it on, you used your left. I used my left hand. I don't know if people use their right, but I've always done it with my left. So now I had to bring this onto this side. Anyway, so you're going to go into your very first stitch. Now for this one, you might want to go a little bit tighter, simply because you don't want to have this yarn too loose, else it leaves a bit of a gap. It doesn't really matter, but it's just better. So make your first one a little bit tighter. So you just go in there and you're going to knit. And don't worry about your stitch marker. See, if I don't make it too tight, you end up having too long a piece of yarn over there. So just do that, and then you go into your next one. See what happens if my stitches are too tight here. I can't get my needle in all the way. Then what I do is I just go as far as it'll go and I come through. But you must make sure you get your whole stitch on here, because if you just go there, your stitch will be too tight. So push it on there. So that's if it's too tight. If it's not, you can go through normally. And you're just going to knit. Now you're going to have to keep playing with this, pushing these down and pulling them back up here. And just the first row is really your hardest. Not that it's hard, but it's a little bit, it's not as comfortable as the others, because you got to, like I say, you got to play with your stitches now. So now I've got to turn and push these down and push them back up around here, and you just push them back up around. So that's all that you're going to do. Now you're just going to knit, and this is why it's so easy. I've chosen this one. We're not ribbing in the beginning, we're not doing anything different, we're just going to do plain knitting. So knit all the way around, and I'll meet you back here. I'm just about back at my stitch marker, and I'll show you what to do. Okay, so now this is where it's a little bit, this is what I was talking about, it being a little bit loose here. So you want to go fairly tight. Just keep this here. This is my last stitch now. And then I'm going to slip my marker back onto this place here. See how long this can be. So, see, I got mine a little too long. Somehow I got mine too long. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. You just come in here and just make your next one a little tighter. So all you're doing is going around. I'm making that a little bit tighter, and okay, see, you don't really see it there. Can't really see where it was. And anyway, this thread that you're going to be sewing in, you can just sew across to make it a little tighter. But that's the only thing that you really have to be aware of. And this is it, guys. This is all that you do. There's really nothing to it. And you just keep knitting around and around, and when you come back here, you do the same thing. You just go around. The reason you want a stitch marker is because sometimes the higher you get, you kind of lose the distinction as to where your round actually starts and finishes, and it can be a little bit awkward because you don't know where, you kind of need a beginning and an end. So that's why it's good to have a marker here. Okay, so all that you're going to be doing now is going around and around, and you're going to keep changing your colors. Now I'm going to show you how to change colors, but it's up to you how wide you really want your rows to be. On mine I did 5, and then you change your color, and then it actually gives you 6 rows. See, here's 1. This is how you actually count them. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I've ended up with 6. So I did 5 rows and then I changed. So for example here, this is a good way for you to see. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's your 5th one hidden under there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So when I see I've got 5 there, I change colors, and then that ends up with 6. I like this little medium here that I have. I like it as thick as they are. I didn't want them thicker than that. Now with this hat, the way that we're doing it, this just curls up. I wanted to make it as simple as I could for you so that you didn't have to worry about ribbing or anything like that. All you do is this and it just rolls up, and you can keep pulling it down a bit, but that's what happens. So I went with the red, then I went with the pink, then I went with the orange, the yellow, the green, and now we're going to continue. So all you did was exactly what I showed you. You just keep knitting around and around, and then you change your color. So I'm going to now show you, because I've got to change my color. And I'm now going from the green and I'm going to go into the blue. So my next color is going to be this, it's called Pagoda. So now you're going to you got your marker here. You're going to go into this stitch. Now there is a way to do it when you're changing color, so you have a jogless join. And I will show you, but I want to show you, if you don't feel comfortable doing that, I'm just going to show you how to change your color. So you go in there, and now you've got, just hold this piece over here. Now you got these two pieces of yarn. This is your old one and this is your new. Take your old yarn and wrap it under there and just put it on top of your stitch. Okay, so there's my two. I won't hold my yarn. Take this one, take your old yarn and wrap it over there. Just put it to the left and hold it there. Take your yarn, wrap it around and just bring it through. Okay, whoops, as I lose this one. Now you can see that your yarn is like this. So now when I do my next stitch, I'm going over this and I've just weaved it in the back. See there, so it's not going anywhere. That just helps. I can show you one more time. Just take this out. Okay, so there's your two, there's your new one, there's your old one. Put your stitch in, your needle in, put this to the left and do your first stitch, drop it, not your stitch, drop that, and you're going to be going over it now, and there you go. And that's all that you do. Keep knitting. Now I'm going to show you how to do the jogless join, but what you have to do is you have to do one row where you are just knitting your new color. So we're going to just knit this one row in plain knitting, and you do that and I'll meet you back here, and we're going to do our jogless join and we're going to do some decreasing. So finish that row and I'll meet you back. So I'm nearly at the end of this row. I'm just over here, and what I'm wanting to show you now is how to do the jogless join. So you move your marker over and you've done one plain row in your new color. So only on the second row do you do your jogless join. Now what you're going to do is you've got your, let me just pull this a little bit, these two. There's your stitch and there is your stitch that you're going to use. Now you're going to take this one, okay, so it's right over there. You can see your stitch has two little bars, and you take in this very first one. You put it onto this needle, and then you're going to just lift it up and put it onto your, sorry, I had the wrong, grab that piece there. Don't grab and see, I was grabbing that back part as well, just this piece. Okay, so there's your two little pieces. You're just going to come into this one and make sure you've just got this, and you're going to just lift it up and put it onto your stitch, onto your needle, like that. Okay, so there it is. There are your two little loops. You're going to take this one and you're going to just put it onto your needle. Okay, and just pull these threads because they get a little bit, there you go, I've just tightened it a little bit. Now all that you're going to do is you're going to knit these two together. Okay, so that's it, you've done your jogless join. That's all that you do. So that's how you do a jogless join, and then you're just going to keep on knitting. And that should, when you pull these together, pull these a little tighter, you shouldn't have much of a join there at all. That's how you do the jogless join. Okay, so we did our jogless join, and for this row we are now going to decrease. I need to decrease 6 stitches. I've got 96 and I want to go down to 90. So I'm going to decrease those. I've got to knit 14. So I've got 1, 2, 3. So you knit 14. Okay, this is number 14. And then these two are going to be knitted together. So I'm decreasing by knitting these two together. But you just go into this side of those two and you knit them together. And now I've decreased 1. And you're going to do this all the way around. I'll do one more with you. So you're going to knit 14, 1, 13, 14, and then you're going to take these two and you're going to come on this side. So you're just going to knit 2 together. So you're going to knit these 2 together. So do that all the way around and make sure that you have 6. You've knitted 2 together 6 times so that you end up with 90 stitches on your needle, and I'll meet you back on the other side. Okay, that was 13. This is 14, and then we're going to knit these last 2 together. Okay, then for our next row, you're going to just do a plain knit row. So all you're going to do for this row is just knit. You don't have to decrease or anything. So knit this round, and I will meet you back over here. Just about at the end of this row. Just make sure that you do have 90 stitches on your needle. Sorry, my brain has to think between crochet and knitting. I'll keep wanting to say hook. Anyway, so we have 90 stitches. Now what we're going to do is on this row, you're going to be decreasing every 7 stitches. So now you're going to knit 7. 1, 2, 6, 7, and we're going to decrease slightly differently. Instead of knitting 2 together, we're going to take the next stitch and just slip it. Just put it onto this needle. Then you're going to knit this stitch, and then you're going to pull this stitch over. Okay, and you've just decreased your stitch. Now we're going to knit another 7. 1, 7. So that's 7 stitches, and now you're going to slip the next one, knit the next one, and pull the slip stitch over the one you just knitted. And that's all you're going to do. So every 7 stitches you decrease a stitch, and when you come back to this side you should have 80 stitches. So I'm going to do mine, and I'll come back here and just make sure that you do have 80 stitches. Alright, so I'm just at the end of this row. I'm going to slip stitch, knit one, and decrease this stitch, and then on this very next row we are just going to knit straight. So for this round all you're going to do is knit around, and I will meet you back over here. Just make sure that you do have your 80 stitches, and I'll meet you back. Alright, so I'm basically finished with this row, and our very next row we're going to decrease again, and you're going to be knitting 6. So you'll knit 6 and then you'll decrease like you did on the other one. 3, 4, 5, 6. Then you slip stitch, knit 1, and pull your slip stitch over. And you're going to do that all the way around. Knit 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then you decrease, slip stitch, knit 1, pull your slip stitch over, and do that all the way around until you come back here, and you should have 70 stitches on your needle. So I'm just going to decrease my last stitch, and you should have 70 stitches on your needle now. Now what we're going to do is we're going to change color again. So that we're just doing a plain row here, and then there's your yarn. You're going to just go over it and knit. So this is just a plain row over here. We're not decreasing anything, so you can just go all the way around in your new color, and I'll meet you back here. Now for this row what you're going to do is you're going to knit 5 and then decrease. So like you did all the others, this one is going to be 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stitches, and then slip 1, knit 1, and pull your slip stitch over. Now you'll see that your stitches are less, so it's starting to get a little bit difficult to knit on in the round. So we're going to just do it a little bit further like that, and then we're going to take them all off. So finish this round and I'll meet you back here. Okay, so this is just about the end of that previous row. So I'm slip stitching and decreasing that row. Now for the next row, once again we're going to just knit a plain knit row. So go ahead, and you should have 60 stitches on your needle now. So after all those decreases, you should have 60. So just knit straight all the way around and I'll meet you back here. So we are finished with this row. Now it's getting a little tight on our needle, but we're going to decrease one more time. So what you're going to do is you're going to knit 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you're going to decrease. So slip stitch, knit 1, and slip your slip stitch over. And at the end of this row, you should end up with 50. So I'll meet you back here. Just do 4 and then decrease. Okay, so I'm nearly finished with this row. Whoops. And I'm going to decrease my last 2 stitches. Slip stitch, knit, and pull the slip stitch over. Now for this next row, we are just going to do a very plain knit row once again. So just knit all the way around and I will meet you back here. I'm nearly done with this plain row, and you should have 50 stitches on your needle now. And I'm actually just going to do another plain knit row. So just go ahead and do another knitting row and I'll meet you back at the end of this row. Alright, so I'm going to do one more plain row. This is the end of the previous row, and we're going to change colors. So now what you're going to do is just change your color again, that thread on that side, this one here. Take your old color and bring it under your stitch and over your needles. Knit 1, let it go, and knit another one. And we're going to just do this in plain knitting, and I'll meet you back at the beginning of this row again. Alright, so I'm coming to the end of this row, and we're going to do one more row that is just plain knit. But remember, we're doing this jogless join, so I'll just show you once again what to do. Just pull your yarn here in the back. Okay, and then you're going to take that stitch over there, this one there, and you're going to put it onto your needle, and you're going to knit these two together. And just keep knitting. So do another round, just plain knitting, and I'll meet you back here. Alright, so this is the end of that next row. And we are going to do one more row around of just plain. I'm kind of doing this as I go. So do another row and I'll meet you back at the end of this row. Okay, so I'm nearly finished with this row, and I see we can go ahead and do another row. So do another row and I'll meet you back here. Okay, so I'm nearly finished and I see we got space for another row. So let's go ahead, guys, and just do another row around just plain knitting, and I might do one more, we'll see. So meet me back here. Alright, so to end this hat, we are going to take this piece of yarn that we were working with. This was all over here. Let me just show you. We were working like this. Okay, so now you're going to cut your yarn off, make it a fairly long piece, and you're going to take a needle and you are going to thread your yarn. Now you're going to, all the stitches on this side you're going to have to push down, because we're going to be taking them off this needle. So you're going to push them all the way down and push these up. Now I'm going to, let me bring you a little bit closer. Okay, so what we're going to do, now my stitches are on all funny because I have been playing around with this, so if they're on a little bit funny, just excuse them. We're going to take this one and we're going to pull it over this one, okay, and then you're going to take that and you're going to put this one, you're going to thread it through. It's not hard, watch me again, just let me fix my stitches here. See, I have them on the wrong way. Okay, so you're going to take this one and this one, and you're going to take the back one and pull the back one over the front and take it off onto your needle. Take the back one and pull it over the front and put this onto your needle, and you're going to just thread them through. And that's what it's going to look like. So you're just going to do that the whole time. Take this one, your back one, and pull it over the front and put this onto your needle. Take the back one, pull it over the front and put this onto your needle. take the back one, put it over the front, and put that onto your needle and pull it. You're going to do that all the way around until you've got all your stitches on here. You're going to do that all the way around until all your stitches are on here. So I'll meet you back here. I'm going to finish mine. Just take this one over and put this on here, and I will meet you back when we're done. Alright, so I'm on my last one, and I'm going to pull this stitch over that one and take that off. And now, whoops. Okay, now you're going to just pull this tight. Now you don't want to lose this thread because you're going to lose all those stitches. And you see it's just closed it nicely there. Now you don't lose this. You want to keep it as tight as you can. I'm going to go inside this hole so I can go onto the other side and I can work from that side. So now you're inside out and you're going to pull this as tight as you can. Okay, now you want to secure this. So you're going to have to find a way to make it so secure, because if this thread comes undone, all your stitches are going to come undone, and that is a problem. So I've got this as tight as I can, and I'm coming back this way, and I'm going to just thread it through here, and then I'm going to pull it really tight, and now I should be good to go. And then I'm going to just go in here, and I'm just going to go through all of these and make this nice and tight. I do this a lot. Some people will say, okay, that's it, but I don't. I like to do a lot more sewing just to be sure that this is as safe as it's going to be. So yeah, that's basically it. Now you can put a pom-pom here, or I'm going to probably put something there because else you've got a bit of a hole, or you could do something there. I'll have a look and see what I come up with. But yeah, then you're going to sew in all these strands, and that's as simple as it gets. So yeah, I hope that you've enjoyed this tutorial. I hope that you've come right with your hat. If you haven't, you're free to ask me, and I will see you in my next video. Thanks, bye.